Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bay Area Content Marketing Meetup. We've had a couple weeks break, but we're now back on schedule. Today, we have Huyse. Cammie's going to talk to us about creating an online course to support your business. Cammie's going to go through a step-by-step on how you can add online training into your offerings to diversify your income stream. She'll share how she did it in 2020 and you'll be able to add an income stream to help you have a more balanced product suite for your business. Cammie, thanks for joining us, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dennis. I am so glad to be here. Interestingly, because we're in the Bay Area here, guess where I was whenever the impetus for this course came? I was standing at the Golden Gate Bridge, and this cruise ship with passengers that had coronavirus on it was passing under the Golden Gate Bridge exactly at the moment that my family and I went there to kind of check it out. So we're standing there, this obvious spot that you all know. And I was thinking to myself, I have an agency, I have a social media marketing agency, and a lot of our clients are travel and tourism clients. And I was standing at this bridge, and literally the ship was coming in, right? And I was thinking, okay. And I knew I just had this feeling inside of me at that very moment that this was going to be a huge game changer and things were going to be completely different. I just knew it in my bones at the moment. And I thought to myself, that course that I've been putting off launching, I'd done a kind of a beta test of it with a client of mine in the fall. And I thought, I'm going to launch it out to more people. This is going to be great. And then I just kept putting it off. You know how it is when you have something going on in your business, you're busy, you're doing this, you're doing that, and you just keep putting things off. Well, I've been doing that. And I had decided that I'd started in June of last year. But as I stood on this overlook of the Bay Bridge and this literal ship came in, I immediately said, there are going to be so many small businesses that absolutely need this course. And the course is Smart Social Secrets. It's how to use social media to build your business. And I knew that if there was a pandemic and things were going to go south, that people were going to need to know this more than ever. And so I basically was standing there in my head as I took this picture. I'm thinking, I am absolutely, when I get home, I'm launching immediately. So I did. I immediately launched in April. And then this is just a little bit about me, and I'm not going to go over too much of this, but I do have a six-figure agency. I do have employees. So another thought that came to me was I need to also have income stream during this time as well. I didn't want to lay anybody off. I was worried about everything that everybody was worried about, but I was lucky to have a very strong company, and we are in other areas besides just travel and tourism. We also are in healthcare, and we also work with nonprofits. And so we had a broad base. And so I knew that having an extra thing in my business would absolutely help, having an extra stream of income, because I'd learned many years ago that not to let one client get to be more than say half your income. And I was kind of going to get into that position where one of my clients was going to be more than half my income. So, what we did at that point was my team and I got together and we started to strategize of how we were going to get this out. Now, I have a bigger team, but the truth is that you can do this on with a very small team, because although I have all these people, the ones that really worked on it were me and Katie, who's like here in the white right here. So she and I just got together and we started working on getting this one product out. I then brought in Crystal, who's this one in the middle. She's actually an Upwork employee. So I'm just letting you know that you can grab help if you need to get this stuff off the ground. And she specialized in Kajabi. So Kajabi is what I used as the base for my course. And here's the deal about this. I have a couple of other tools you could use, but I say use whatever tool gets you launched the fastest. And so what I did was I was reaching out and I was like, what tool do I have? And I went on Upwork and I just looked for somebody who was an expert in Kajabi. And I was like, I hired her. And by the way, she's been on my team ever since. And we use her for all kinds of things now, including writing. She ended up being a really good writer. She's also a tech person. So that's weird, right? A writer and a tech person. So that being said, oh gosh, here we go. I'm gonna do this. The key was the passion with it. So when you offer something like this up through your business, you need to be making sure that It's coming from an area of service. And if you do that, you're going to attract all kinds of people to it. So we launched it, and I put my heart out there and told them what I really wanted to do is to help small businesses get through this time period. And the course was, I launched it the first time for $375, and then the second time it was $475. So it grew in cost, and we helped 50 small businesses, get over the pandemic hump. And it added a really nice income stream to my business as well, not to mention people that went at the end of the course and wanted to hire us to do done-for-you services. It opened up a whole new area in the business that I had really never thought that could be that big. And by the way, this year, because of this, I'm going to be launching a membership, which is going to be sort of an area where I'm going to bring people in. I'm going to help them get things done every month. That's the key, get it done, get it done, get it done. And I'm actually going to help agencies, I decided, because the sweet spot was a bunch of agencies join this, and a bunch of other people too. But I feel like I can really help agencies to grow, because obviously I am an agency. So it really, in the end of the day, it's how you make people feel that really gets them over the hump, though. It's not so much the nuts and bolts of what you offer. It's about how you make them feel and what results you get for them. So that being said, I think I just went over why a course for you, but we're going to go over how it fits into your business, who it helps, what results they will get, how to go to market, and tools and support. And I'm going to try to do all of this in less than 20 minutes. So buckle up. So this is the road to an online product. These are the steps that you need to take step by step by step to get through and get a new income stream into your business. I'm going to just say that in general, do not try to be perfect on every step, but speed wins. Okay. So speed wins in this case. Get it out there. Because guess what's going to happen? When you get it out there, your people are going to tell you what you need to change. You know what I'm saying? So don't try to create a whole bunch of stuff ahead of time. And I'm going to go through that here in a minute, because it's a mistake if you do. You'll spend a whole year toiling away at the perfect course, put it out there and find out nobody wants it.
Is that additional effort?
Huh? Oh, okay. That's somebody asked a question. So number one is going to be to map your business. So let's just go through these steps. So to map your business, what you really need to do is answer these 4 questions. Who are you going to serve? How are they going to find you? Where are you going to prospect for them? What is your current product suite? And I'll talk about a little bit more about that in a minute. And then number 4, what is your process to help them get a result? So that's all you need is these 4 steps. You have to understand this very clearly. And that's really, if you can understand these things, you can almost do the entire thing I'm about to show you in less than a month. Okay. So this is the deal, is who do you serve? And by the way, that's the hardest part. I told you, I was doing small businesses, and that ended up being too broad. So I've niched it. And now I'm helping agencies and consultants that are trying to grow their business, scale their business. That's who I'm going to help. And by using social media marketing. So that's my whole statement. But back when I started this, I was all small businesses, and I got a real estate agent, a carpet cleaner, a handful of agencies, a gym, a coach, a gym coach, a woman who does Feldenkrais, which is this really cool, thing where they help your body go. So there was a lot of different businesses that came in, and I was able to help them. But I think if we were all on the same page, I would have been able to go deeper. Does that make sense? Because I had to get everybody to a certain point. And I could do it. I mean, certainly I can do it. I can help anybody get their social media under control and make it actually drive leads for them. I'm excellent at that. In fact, just before I got on this call with you, guess what happened? I got a site contact from somebody who said, hey, we've worked with you before. Can we get on a call tomorrow? So I have this, it's running so I could teach people how to do it. But that's the problem. If you try to teach too many people, it's it's hard to wrap your head around how to make the marketing happening. But again, I wasn't perfect. I went out there with a too broad of a market, and guess what? A year later, I'm refining it. So do you hear, you can make these mistakes. So I think some people worry too much about getting the perfect person, the perfect anything. And the problem is that's going to slow you down. And right now, speed is everything. Speed, speed, speed. Getting it out there, getting those relationships started. So who do you serve? How do they find you? Are you going to do like a weekly, like Dennis does, a weekly live stream with your Bay Area folks? He does this. That's a great visibility thing for him. Are you going to do blog posts? Are you going to do, what exactly are you going to do to get yourself out there? We'll talk about that in a minute. So map your business. And here's how I did it. So I'm going to just go through mine if that helps. I think then an example sometimes helps. I'll just tell you how I thought through it. So the first one was, who do we help? We help PR, communications, marketing consultants showcase their expertise on social media to effortlessly get and keep more clients. And then I put it on there without coming across as boastful or arrogant. I put that on there because actually I had a client tell me that, that they wanted to find a way to get out there and without being boastful or arrogant. So again, this is my new statement. Like last year, it was like, I'm going to help small businesses to use social media to get and keep clients, or get and keep customers or clients, right? So the main ways of getting business were word of mouth, speaking at conferences. I have email lists and that I do, email list promotions and stuff that I do because I have an email list I've been building for a while, and Facebook ads. Those were the 4 that I used last year. So again, word of mouth, speaking at conferences. Also just honestly, I went live a lot. I went live every week. I was really talking about how to do this stuff. And PS, I teach everything that I teach in the course out in the open. Like if you went around the internet and pulled all the breadcrumbs together, you might be able to do it. But in the course, I was able to get my team in there with them, and we helped them to implement. That's way different than teaching information. Like I'm teaching you guys information today. You'll walk away and say, hey, great. You'll put it together. But if you have questions or you want to go deeper, I mean, it's great. It's here. This is exactly what I did, but there's nobody to help you, right? So that's what you bring to the table in a membership. So don't get too precious with your content, because if you get precious with your content, people aren't going to know like what you can offer to them. Does that make sense? Cool. So your current product suite. So our current product suite is social media strategy and community management. And that's our done for you stuff. We do that for people every day of the week. That's like our bread and butter. And then I've created this done with you model, which is the course. And the course is a done with you model called Smart Social Secrets. And we're going to also put together a business membership, which is coming up this year. And that's together we get stuff done, so like there's a couple of ways you can think of this. Do you want to do a done with you course or a DIY course where they do it themselves, do it yourselves, or do you want to like add a little extra in it? So think about that in your mind, like what do you want to offer? And then DIY, we have a toolkit we're about to release, which is like one of these $47 toolkits, which has a lot of our strategies and templates and things like that people could just grab and, swipe and start using. And then the Smart Social Secrets course, we may actually put that on Evergreen since we have the membership now. So you take the course and then we try to get you into the membership. So I'm building this business, but it started just with my done for you services and adding a course. But do you see how this has grown over the year? It's amazing how it's like opened up a whole new world to what you can do. The main thing that I also found is that you need to also map out your process. One of the things that I always prided myself on is that we had this bespoke service and we were customized and, all that. But what people really buy into is a system. Like if they feel like it's going to be made easier for them, then they're going to buy. So that's really what the course is about. Is like, this is the system that we use. We're going to have clarity, which is your strategy. Then we're going to teach you how to connect and find your online audience. Then we're going to help you to create that content and know exactly what to create and when to create it. And then Calibrate is really about measurement and ROI. Like this is how the result you're going to get and how to shift or pivot to start all over again. So people are looking for a system. So you need to think about your business and what system you're going to offer to your course participants so that at the end they get a result. Because if you get a result at the end, then you end up with testimonials, which we'll talk about in a minute. So choose your course type. Okay, so here's a couple of things you can choose. You can do a single skill, like kind of mini course that's cheap, that gets people into the door, and maybe then they'll buy other things from you. So that's designed to solve one problem and get them ready for your next offer. So like if you could solve one problem for people and they get a result and they sing your praises, they're going to come back to you. Like this guy who just came back to me, Jeffrey Huyse, who now is bringing his sister-in-law who owns a business, and you have to do her social media. That's because we worked with him through this process, right? So single mini skill. Then you can do a workshop, which is like, I think the most expensive one, where you would take a 1 or 2 day intensive with people and like completely solve a problem for them during that time and deliver some kind of deliverable. I've done a lot of these like speaking coaches where we would come and they helped us put together our entire speaking portfolio in like 2 days, and it was a video, it was like a brochure that they put together and a bunch of other content. So you can offer a package of content, and that you can charge a lot for because it's 2 days of your time. It's kind of one-on-one. But if you have 5 or 6 of those people there to create whatever it is you create for them, you see how the money could kind of add up for you. Then there's a signature course, which is what I did, which was Smart Social Secrets in my case. And that was designed to take them all the way from A to Z in a process, that round thing I showed you. I took them all the way through the round process. Or the final thing as a membership, which I'm going to be doing now, those are a little bit less per month, but it can add up to be a lot of money overall. And that's year-round or seasonal support with some resources and so on. Usually those have to be, I don't know, some people do them for really cheap, but I'm like kind of aiming for $97 a month eventually, where we would do some done for help, like we're really in there with them, helping them get things done. But if we have, a couple hundred people doing that, you can see how that adds up quickly. I'd like to see that take over like one of my client spots, if that makes sense. So that's how that goes. And then step 3, also, I did this for you. Which type of course makes sense for you? You may want to take a screenshot of this because this is good, because this just shows you the first part, like who do you serve? And if, they have an objection that can be removed. P.S. That first little 1-person course or that 1-topic course, you can create it to remove an objection people have. So like, oh, I don't have a list, so I can't get started with you. So why not then make a mini course that's about how to build your first 100 people on your list? And then they have a list, so now they can move on to the next step. Does that make sense? So the things you hear all the time from clients, well, I'm not ready because of this. You might want to create a mini course on the front end of your business that gets them over the hump of that objection. So then they can use your services. So do they need to see the value you bring to the table? That's another thing. So like the course itself was good because then they could see how much we actually know about what we're talking about. And they spend a good 6 weeks with us. And at the end of them, I had several of them sit down with us and ask to hire us at the end. And they said, yeah, we love the course. It's awesome, but could you actually do this for us? Because we don't want to do it. And then there's the workshop, which is the done with you option. Again, you can take pieces of your business. So remember, I have that 4-part circle. So we sell, on the Clarity side, we sell a social media playbook. And that's a done kind of for you, with you kind of option. I can do it either for you or with you, where we would have like like right now, I'll take a client and I'll make an entire playbook for them that tells them when to post, how to post, where to post, what to write about, how to do it. It's got the entire thing, and it's a one-off cost. I give it to them, I deliver it. In fact, I just delivered one this morning to a client, and they take it and they work it with their team or with another vendor, or they say, oh, okay, you guys should probably come do this. That happens. So I get those 3 different ideas, but that is one little package thing that I can put together in there. And the workshop, like I said, could be that too, where instead of me doing it for them, I say, hey, we're going to get together for 2 days and you are going to make your own playbook, right? And it would be a little bit less money than I would charge to do it myself with my team. And then they would be able to walk away with their playbook, but they paid for, and but I'd have 10 or 15 of them doing it at the same time. Does that make sense? And then you could charge a lot, like you could charge $1,500. And at the end of it, they have like a strategy for the rest of their year, you know, with all kinds of content ideas. And so that's how I do that. And then the final thing is membership. And that's on the end. I feel like after like a course or something like that, I like them afterwards. Some people might put a membership on the front end to get people ready for something and then get them into a product. You have to think about where it is. Mine's on the back end, like after they've done some work with me, then how can we go deeper and like actually solidify that, help them master the skill, right? So it's good for mastery. So there's that. Did you guys get a screenshot and everything? I'll move on. So finally, this step 3 is where we're at. I'm gonna try to hurry through this, are ways to build your audience. So we have free content. I find that's really helpful if you create like what I call visibility content. So going out, doing a live stream, blog posts, something where you're showcasing your knowledge about the skills. Coming here, we'll talk about speaking, which I'm doing today, but that kind of thing, showcasing on a regular basis what you do, and then taking that and using it throughout social media to kind of grow your audience. Networking is huge, obviously events like this, outreach. I do something called the 2x2, which is I go out for 15 minutes a day and I like connect with people. I'll give you a link to that here in a minute. It's my free content. But that gets people in, and I feel like that free content, the networking and stuff, that free content has to be something people would pay for. Like it's great if they would pay for it because they walk away saying, wow, if her free content is that good, like what would her paid content be like? So you want to make it's got to be really good to bring them in. And then speaking, of course, coming on webinars, conferences, local professional development. There's so many opportunities to meet and greet and kind of get to know people. That always works. And then also what I call gated content, which is my 2x2, which I'll give you in a minute, which is where they give you their email for a piece of content. Again, it should be so good that they'd be willing to pay for it. That way you're not like just, giving out. I know a lot of people do checklists and stuff, but people aren't invested in that. If they walk away with a piece of content that they put into place and then they get a result, the likelihood is more likely that they are going to work with you. If they just get some downloadable, they'll get on your list. They may stay there for a while. They may buy from you down the road. But somebody who goes and gets a piece of content and utilizes it and gets a result is going to do better than somebody who doesn't for you. So that's my experience. And by the way, on a list, I'm just gonna say this real quick, only about 3% of your email list is ready to buy from you at any given time. So it's a small number of people that are like, yeah, I'm going to buy from that person immediately. Usually it takes a lot of warming up and time. They may follow you for 3, 4, 6 months before they decide, yeah, I'm going to do that. So that's just a point I want to make. I think it's an important thing to have an email list and use it, but to be realistic about what it can do. All right, so step 3, this is the 2x2. Again, this is the one I do. It helps you to learn how to do these 2 conversation and 2 comments per day to grow yourself on social media. I send out 6 emails, like when people sign up for it. So I don't even do a video or anything. I just do, well, there's some videos in it, but I do emails that tell them exactly what to do. And I send them every 3 days and drip. And then it tells them, do this now. And then do this. At one time I did them like right in a row where it sent them day after day and it kind of overwhelmed people. So now I just drip them out every three days. And some people put them in a folder and say, I'm going to do this later. Those are probably not going to ever do them. I'm going to be honest. They probably want to or might. So you want to make sure that you're giving them bite-sized pieces. And again, only a certain number of people will actually do it. But I do know that when you do this process, it has amazing results. Like everybody raves about the results they get when they do this. And then in the course itself, I teach this again, but then we have accountability and we talk about it. So, people get really good results in the course. So people are going to get better results from your course than they're going to get from your free content, always, even if you offer it again. See what I'm saying? Okay, there you go. So you can go to this bit.ly link if you want to. I'll put it in the group later too at the end if you need it, but there it is. So step 4 is to pre-sell your idea. So one of the things that I have done every single time is I don't build the content before I sell it. And it feels a little weird sometimes, but it works better because then the content you're creating actually meets the needs of the people that you sold it to. So even when I'm doing, I guess it didn't bother me too much because I have an agency. So we sell things and then we create them all the time. So it didn't bother me too much, but float your idea, meet with someone who's in your intended audience and ask them what they think, see what they think and see how they react to it. So I met with a couple of friends. I was telling you this, Dennis, at the beginning on Monday about this new networking idea or the membership idea. And by the end of it, they were so excited. They're like, sign me up. I'm on this. I want to be in this group because we're going to be able to get things done together and, really start to build their businesses. And so that was really cool. And then post your idea. So put it out there and say, hey, if anybody's interested in like something like this is my vision. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I want to do. This is who I want to help. And then say, hey, why don't you DM me if you're interested? That's also helps you with your ego and everything else. So if people are like crickets and nobody wants to, it doesn't matter because nobody knows how many people DM'd you in the end of the day, right? So putting it out there and just kind of seeing how people react is helpful. And then the third way is and I got this email. Yeah. So if you have an email list, email your idea out. So also one of the things I'd say is once you start talking about this, make sure you have some kind of payment option set up right away. So if you do have takers, you get them in. Go ahead and get them in right away. So PayPal is good. Stripe is good. I use ConvertKit, which is a really, really cool email program that lets you have up to 1,000 people for free on your email list before you have to pay. And I like them because you can segment the list by people like with their interests and stuff. So, I mean, I've been using ConvertKit. And then step 5 is to get a result for them. So this is probably the most important step. Like once they're working with you, you need to work with them until they get a result. And even if you do this the first time and there's only 10 people, 5 people in your course, it's okay because you're going to work the heck out of them. And then at the end, you're going to get a great testimonial and then you can launch again. And they're going to tell you what worked and what didn't work. Right? So you'll be able to make little adjustments and whatever. So calling them founding members or pilot project or whatever is really, really important. And you can even give them a little bit lesser of a price the first time and say, this is the only time it's ever going to be this cheap because I'm developing, and you can be upfront. I'm developing this. I want to help people like you. We're going to do this. I have the expertise in this area. This is how we're going to do it. You just have to have a lot of vision up there and then deliver the goods or the receipts, as my kids say. I want to see the receipts. So people need to work with you and get a result. So I had some things up here. So on each one of these, like this is the problem. Social media is an afterthought with no strategy. This happens a lot with my clients. They're like, I need a social media strategy. I hear that so many times. What they really want though is a plan. They want a plan on how to get that social media out there and make it work in a way that's going to work for them. So we create that strategy playbook to get them that clear pathway to the result. On connecting, the problem is I can't find my customers or get any attention on social media. Yes. So the result is I teach them to set up a system to bring in fresh leads daily. Like it's kind of a funnel, I guess you could say, but how do you set up that system? We teach them that. For calibrating, for creating content, they say, oh, I put that content out there and it's like crickets, right? Crickets. So we teach them a system to create strategic content that people are going to want to read and look at, that's engaging, that people like. And it's based all around their strategy. And then the final one is I don't get any ROI from social media. I'm just telling you all the greatest hits I get from everybody. Okay, so we're going to build the funnel with a clear pathway to the result. So you know exactly where it's breaking down. Like, okay, so if you have you're out there visible, this was me, out there visible, but you don't have an email, you don't have something free or something you're giving them to get them into your world, then you just hope they call you and get to this other side. So there's a missing piece in the funnel, you see? And then people can see where their missing pieces are so they can put them in. So that's what we do. And that's what you need to do too with your audience. And then finally is testimonials and social proof. So once you get them a result, then you need to ask them for a testimonial. So I just did a delivery of a playbook. I was just telling you that a minute ago with one of our clients, and we record them. I'm going to transcribe the recording. They said some really nice things like, this blows my mind, this is amazing, blah, 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 whatever. And it's really great stuff they said. So I'm going to like transcribe it, and I'm going to send it back to them and say, hey, do you mind if we use this as a testimonial? The deliverable is the video for them anyway. So I had to make the video because they can watch it over and over again. And then I'm just going to ask if we can use it as a testimonial. So for beginner, you can ask in a direct message. You can ask for a LinkedIn recommendation. I used to do this a lot when I was more nervous about it. I would ask clients if they would leave me a LinkedIn recommendation. So I have a ton of LinkedIn recommendations that I use and still do. You can create a Twitter for Twitter. I'm a Twitter person, but I do these moments where like things other people said nice about me. So sometimes people on Twitter will say nice things, and I'll just save them and put them into a folder. Intermediate. Hopefully you guys have claimed your business on Google My Business, Nextdoor, Yelp, these other places. A lot of people are asking me to give them reviews on there, especially if I'm a happy customer. So you may do the same if your business is this kind of a business. I don't know. And then advanced, you can set up a software or service to collectors. I do have one called Vidmonial. I do find that people like to be asked questions. It's like hard for people just to turn on a video and give you a testimonial without your kind of prompting. So another way, which I don't have on here, is just turning on Zoom and having a call with them and asking, do you mind if I record? Like, what do you think? And having 3 or 4 questions and just recording their responses. So that's testimonials, and it really does matter. Just because people need to know you've actually helped real people. And even if you haven't helped anybody yet, that's exactly the point of the course launch as a sort of a beta launch or whatever, is that you tell them up front, like, I've never done this and it's okay. And then at the end, you get those things. So these are the 6 steps, map your business, choose your course type, build your audience, pre-sell your course, get a result, and get that social proof you need. And that, my friends, is it. So this is a big list of tools that I use for different things, because I know people love the tools. So if you want to take a picture of this, you can. But these are the ones I use. So in the meanwhile, does anybody have any questions or thoughts?
I know a few of you were thinking of launching your own course. So does anyone have questions about that? Quiet group so far.
I think they're still like studying the slide. There's a lot of things on the slide. So, but yeah, it's been great. And I've been able to really, again, during the pandemic, we were able to, I actually hired somebody to help, like Kimberly was hired in the middle of all this. And we were able to grow our revenue. It was just a really good thing that we had in our pocket during a time that was pretty tough for most people and most businesses. So
Kimmy, perhaps? Oh,
Hi.
was there a question?
Yes. Hi, it's Carmen.
Hi.
Hi, Carmen.
My video just is not working today.
That's okay.
This is really great stuff. How can you take it and apply it to the nonprofit world?
Yeah, so that's a really great question. Actually, I'm on the board of directors of civilination.org. We work on ending online hostility, and we have a lot of work. We have a lot of work to do. Anyway, so we are working on this too right now. And one of the things that we're doing is building an academy on YouTube that is a bunch of visibility content that we go out and we interview people that are experts in different areas of this. And we're building up a repository of information that helps people through it. And I don't know what nonprofit you work with or whatever, but how do you showcase the things that matter the most to your donors,
Right.
the impact that you're making, right?
Mm.
And so I think visibility content is really, really important for nonprofits. And I know a lot of people focus on who do you help? And we had a lot of trouble with that because, again, Civilination our clients are not people per se. They're like, it's a social, like a social environment change. Mm-hmm. And we do help people But even the people we help, you can't really put them up front and say, here's the people we help, because usually they're people that have been like scourged on the internet. So we're not going to like raise them up for more scourging. So we will talk about like, what should you do when a troll comes after you? Like what happens when you've been doxxed? How do you manage to put that together? So I think you have to be creative in how you do it, but if you show the impact and you build up some kind of credibility pieces that you're putting out there, again, it's not so much a course, but it could work that way. The other thing you could do is create courses or create training things for the different tracks of your nonprofit, like how you help. And those could be then underwritten by donors.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Other thoughts?
Cami, could you perhaps talk a little bit about Kajabi? Like I've never done a course myself, so do you?
Yeah, so Kajabi, I do like it. It has everything in it, including the email. It isn't free. So, I mean, that's one thing you have to invest in it. And then it's every month, right? So if you're just planning on doing one-off courses, you may want to think of other things like putting it on WordPress, or Thinkific is a little cheaper. I mean, I think they're about the same at this point. Thinkific is another option. Again, I would just say do the one that is easiest for you to find somebody either to help you with or that you understand the best. So I just went with Kajabi, not because I thought it was the best tool out there, but because honestly, I needed to get it out the door. I wanted it done. And I knew I was investing into this, and it does have email. So, I mean, I use ConvertKit, but you don't have to do that. You can just use email. ConvertKit is good too, because you could just do ConvertKit. It has landing pages for your sales. So you could do your landing page with ConvertKit in your email, and then just deliver it through Zoom, deliver it through Facebook, make it simple, and then you could put them all up you could put all of the course materials up in Google Docs. I mean, don't make this stuff tough. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't make it about the technology. I love the technology. I love tools. But in the end of the day, what are we trying to do here? We're trying to help people solve a problem. And that's really the goal in the end of the day.
Got it.
Yeah.
Is the basic step though, like you upload slides and then you record yourself presenting? Is that
I did that. So what I did is I just sat in front of this computer just like this, and I put together the content and recorded it. You can also do live delivery. So that's cool. I think especially for the beta course, you should, because one of the things I did is I put a lot of pressure on myself to do all these videos and put them up in Kajabi. But what you could really do is just do a live, download the video, and then upload it into Kajabi, and then the next time do it again with the new ones, and then do it again. And then eventually you'll have the content down so well, then record that all into like really cool videos and invest in the videos and stuff, because by then you'll have money to do that. See?
Got it.
Yeah, I think we make it too tough.
Other questions? Feel free to unmute yourself, or you can also use the chat if you have a question.
I'll stop sharing my screen here.
Okay.
So we can see each other. So yeah, I think that, I don't know. I mean, I just really think that it's a really great way to get another income stream into your business. And I think it's a good way to build your business too, in some ways. So
I have one more question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
It's not directly related to online courses, but you have a large following online, and I'm curious if you've read about or considered the concept of a creator coin.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about a non-fungible something.
It's similar. It's similar to NFT, but it's the concept of like a branded coin where you can use the coin as currency to engage with your community.
I have not thought about, I mean, I would say I've heard about it, but I hadn't thought about it.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, how's that different than, how's that different than something like Patreon?
It's very similar. It's a similar business model. Like Patreon, you have subscribers to your Patreon profile. The difference with the coins is it's using blockchain and cryptocurrency. So it's kind of not tied to a specific company.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see that. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'd have to learn a lot more about that. I feel like I don't know anything about that. So I'd have to come to one of your dentists. I'd have to come to one of your events about how to do that.
Yeah.
I can tell you how I built my audience. I just put the link in the chat. That's exactly how I built my audience, is this 2x2.
Okay, excellent.
And that was great. And then of course, speaking a lot and coming out and talking to people and going to conferences and networking and doing it for like, I don't know, umpteen years at this point. So, but yeah, I'd love to know more about that. That'd be cool.
Okay. I don't know. I'm doing a little bit of research on it, so I'm not.
Maybe you should do a mini course.
That's the perfect combination. Do a course on creator coins.
Yeah. And then you can sell it to creators and say, how do you use this? What is this?
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Great idea.
Cool.
Last call for questions. Anyone out there or comments?
Thanks, Carol.
All right. Well, with that, Cami, thanks so much for being with us. I'll share the recording with you.
Yes.
And yeah.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I love the Bay Area, so always love to hang out with people from there too. So, all right, guys.
All right. Take care.
Have a good day.
Cami.
Thanks, Cami.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.